Hey, Summerhill Cinema 700 here with my Blu-ray update of August 2019. I can't believe it's already almost the end of August. I found that like this summer has gone by just so quick, especially this month of August though in particular, just flown by, which kind of sucks. But at the same time, one thing that I like about the like fall and winter months when it's not as hot outside is then I don't feel as bad for staying in and watching a movie. But I just love summer so much because I can spend so much time outside. But let's just get on with this update. So we got a lot of titles here, including all these here, which are all from the Kino Lorber sale, which they had about a month ago or so. And I got a pretty great deal on these films. Most of them were about $10 to $15 Canadian. And I did have to pay like some import duty fee because they came from the States, but nonetheless, I got a pretty great deal on them. So to start out, we have the Starship Troopers trilogy here on DVD. I got this from Walmart, and it was only $5. It was, I think, supposed to be 8, but they had the wrong label on it, so I got this for $5. I mean, even for 8, that'd be a steal of a deal. But and they come in these kind of like thin little cases here, which are really cool. They have some nice artwork inside, and here's Starship Troopers 2. I haven't seen the first film since like the early 2000s. Same with this one. It came out in I think 2004, so I would have seen that when it came out. I think that this one was a straight to like TV film. It was a made-for-TV film, and then Starship Troopers 3. I don't think I've ever seen this one. So happy to have those on DVD. Looking forward to rewatching those again. So that is the Starship Troopers trilogy on DVD. Next up, starting with the Kino Lorber, the DVDs and Blu-rays I got from the Kino Lorber sale. First up, we have the Clint Eastwood and Jeff Bridges film, Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Also stars George Kennedy. Just saw this for the first time the other day. I hadn't watched it before. It's basically about these two guys, Clint's character, who's Thunderbolt, and then Jeff Bridges' character, who's Lightfoot. These kind of like two criminals on the run that cross paths, and they do there's like this big bank robbery that happens, and it's a pretty awesome film. It's not the best that I've seen from them, but nonetheless it's a very entertaining film. For the most part, it's from 1974. This one, that is Thunderbolt and Lightfoot, and I know Twilight Time did a Blu-ray of this a while back. I don't know if it's out of print or not, but that's the DVD of Thunderbolt and Lightfoot. Next up, we have the original Moby Dick here on DVD. I believe this is the first Moby Dick film. It's from 1956. Gregory Peck, directed by John Huston, or Houston. And I've never seen the original Moby Dick, so really looking forward to checking this one out here. And that is, again, a Kino Lorber DVD. And the Twilight Time put this one out as well on Blu-ray at some point. So now on to the Kino Lorber Blu-rays, and this whole stack here is actually all spaghetti westerns. So to start out with, we have A Fistful of Dynamite, aka Duck You Sucker, from the one and only Sergio Leone. Just an awesome kind of spaghetti western film, kind of like a Mexican like revolutionary kind of period film. I think this is more in like, or is that the Mexican Revolutionary? I'm kind of getting confused. I think this movie is based more around the early 1900s when cars were kind of coming out and whatnot. But this is a really awesome film. Looking forward to checking this out in this great Kino Lorber edition here. And then next up we have Burt Reynolds in Navajo Joe, and I've never seen this one, but it's on Quentin Tarantino's like top 20 spaghetti westerns list, his official list. So I definitely wanted to check this one out. This one's from 1967. Then we have A Minute to Pray, A Second to Die. Also haven't seen this one. Also on Tarantino's list. I believe this one's on his list. This one's from 1968. Then we have Lee Van Cleef's Death Rides a Horse, also starring John Philip Law, who you might remember from Golden Voyage of Sinbad and lots of other. He's been in quite a few roles. And these Kino Lorber Blu-rays have a few special features and whatnot. This one's from 1967 though. That's Death Rides a Horse. Love these Lee Van Cleef films. And then we have Yul Brynner in Adios Sabata, which is the second Sabata film, the one Sabata film that didn't have Lee Van Cleef in it. And then after that one, we have this following film. This one's from 71. This one's from 72 here. This is Return of Sabata, bringing back Lee Van Cleef as Sabata. And I also have the original Sabata on Blu-ray from Kino, as well as The Mercenary. So happy to have all these for my spaghetti western collection. All right, now on to just some random titles here. We have The Taking of Pelham 123, classic train robbery movie in New York City. And I've never seen this film, but this is on my like top movies to watch list for quite a while now. This one's from 1974, and just looks like an absolutely awesome film. Robert Shaw, Martin Balsam, Hector Elizondo. So this just looks like a fantastic film. And if I read like things online, like top 20 best grimy New York City films, when New York City was a more seedy place, like I've mentioned before, this is on the top of that list. So I thought I gotta check this one out. So that is The Taking of Pelham 123. Next up we have The Wanderers. This one starts Ken Wall, who was in The Soldier, the James Glickenhaus film, who also did The Exterminator. So he's in this film, Ken Wall. I've never seen this film before. It kind of looks like very similar to The Warriors. Now, I don't know which came out first, this or The Warriors, because they came out the same year as 1979, but I don't know which came out first. I'm going to guess The Warriors, but this is kind of like the same type of deal, kind of like a gang type of movie. Looks really fun, though. So I thought, why not check it out? It's a good deal. And that one is, I already mentioned, from 1979. Next up we have Jack the Giant Killer. Now, I've only watched bits and pieces of this film, but what caught my eye was the stop-motion animation. Now, it's not as good as like Harryhausen's stop-motion animation, but there's like this two-headed Cyclops, and then this crazy like squid-like creature that comes out of the water. So I was like, well that looks promising. And then there's like this little chimpanzee running around with his friends. So it just looks kind of wacky. I think it might be a musical actually. Let's see here. It is the director that did The Seventh Voyage of Sinbad, so that makes it also promising. This one's actually from 1962, pretty old film. That's Jack the Giant Killer. Next up, we have this film, which I didn't know even existed until about a month ago, The Annihilators. And this one's from 1985, and I don't know much about this film at all, other than it kind of looks similar to like maybe The Exterminator or Vigilante. But I'm not too sure about this one. I've heard some bad reviews. I've heard some decent reviews, but it looks kind of like that type of low budget, almost exploitation-like film, vigilante type film. The war is over, but the real battle has just begun. I mean, it was a really good price, so I thought, let's check it out. That's The Annihilators. And this one just came out. It's actually a new release from Kino Lorber. Next up, we have Charles Bronson and Mr. Majestic. Haven't seen this Bronson film. I've watched most of the Bronson catalog, but this is one that just has passed me by. I haven't had a chance to watch this one. If you've watched my videos before, I've mentioned that the Death Wish films are some of my favorite films of all time, and then his role in Once Upon a Time in the West, which Once Upon a Time in the West may be my favorite film of all time. His role in that's just fantastic, and then other films too, like White Buffalo, and he's just in his tons of great roles. And this looks like a pretty awesome action film. And this one's from 1974, which I believe is the same year that Death Wish came out. And then that was another film that I was trying to think of, Breakheart Pass, another great Bronson film. But this is Mr. Majestic, so looking forward to checking it out. And I mean, it's got Charles Bronson, so high hopes for that one. His films are always a good time. And next up we have Burnt Offerings. And this is, again, I have not seen this film either, but it looks like a pretty awesome film. And honestly, with this film, what caught my attention first was the artwork. And sorry about the glare, but you can kind of see this cool old like house, almost looks like castle-like. And then the Burnt Offerings logo with these like the vines going over top. I just thought that's a really cool cover, and that's what caught my eye for this film. And then I watched the trailer and thought, oh, that looks pretty cool. It seems like it's kind of looks like a supernatural type of film. This one's from 1976. This one's got quite a few special features on it, actually. But that's Burnt Offerings, so really looking forward to checking that one out. So that kind of wraps it up for the Kino Lorber titles. So very excited to have those. And from what I've watched so far from their releases, they have pretty damn good transfers. So next up, we have Paul Newman in Fort Apache, the Bronx. Now, I've seen bits and pieces of this film, and it's again one of those films that has New York City when it was a much more dirty, grimy place, especially in the Bronx where this film takes place. And this one is from 1980. I'm not sure, but I believe it's early 80s, 81 or 82 or something like that. But this one has Paul Newman, and then who else is in it? This one also has Ken Wall, who was in The Wanderers, and then The Soldier, who I mentioned. So this one also has Ken Wall. Pam Grier's in this one as well. Who else? There's quite a few big names in this film. But that is Fort Apache, The Bronx, and looking forward to checking this one out again. Next up, we have. Okay, this is kind of funny because I already have this film on DVD. I have it on VHS. I have it on Blu-ray. But I saw this slipcover, and I was at Walmart the other day, and they had a whole bunch of films of kind of with these like lenticular slipcovers, as you can see, as Pennywise's eyes move, which is really cool. I couldn't pass this up, even though I already have it. I don't like double dipping, and I'm not that type of person. But when it comes to it, I double dip. I just do it. And this one actually has a little coupon on it. It says you get up to $8 towards the It Part 2, which is coming out soon, to theaters. $8 off a ticket, so that's pretty cool. But just I thought that cover was cool. And they also had other films. They had these new lenticular covers. They had the Friday the 13th 2009 remake. They had Poltergeist. They had The Conjuring, The Nun, Annabelle. There's a few different films. They had what was that shark one? The Meg. They had quite a few films, and they were all a pretty decent price. But this one, I had to get this one. So that's it with a cool lenticular slipcover there on Blu-ray. And then when I was at Walmart the same day, I'm walking around the shelves and I see this film. I say, is that Steven Seagal? I didn't even realize that this film existed. I know that his last film that he did was called, oh God, what was it called? Attrition or something like that, I believe. And I haven't seen that movie. It's kind of hard to get hold of, but I saw this, and if you know, I'm a huge fan of Steven Seagal's early films. Haven't watched a lot of his later works, like his straight-to-DVD stuff. But, I saw this there at Walmart. It was $14.99, so I thought, I'm just going to give it a try. I saw the back. It says he's an operative, and his team of young recruits go after the most dangerous and notorious criminals with the help of a Hong Kong billionaire. So I saw that, and I thought, it's a Steven Seagal film. It's a new film. I know a lot of his new films have gotten bad kind of reviews and whatnot, but for $14.99, I thought, I'm just going to go for it and see how it is. And it's General Commander, it's called. I don't even think I mentioned the title yet, but it has a slipcover, and just to see a new Seagal film on Blu-ray, which you don't see too often, is pretty cool. Now it says Walmart Select, so I don't know if this is a Walmart exclusive, but that's General Commander. So looking forward to checking this one out, and hopefully it ends up being not too bad. Okay, so last but not least here, two releases from Blue Underground. I believe they both came out this year. This one came out in 2018. I finally got it. The 3-disc limited edition 4K restoration Lucio Fulci's Zombie, and I chose the worm eyeball cover. I don't know if you can see that. It's pretty fucking disgusting, actually. These worms coming out of the eyeball. It's kind of nasty. But they had this one, and then they had the one of the wood going through the lady's eye, and then they had the Brooklyn Bridge scene. But I just like this one, and honestly, it was like $5 cheaper than the others on Amazon, so I just went with this version. And this one's got just a ton of extras and special features. But I'm going to do a separate video of this in the next few days, just like an unboxing. But that is Blue Underground's brand new restoration of Zombie with the lenticular slipcover. And then we have another Blue Underground title that just came out less than a month ago, I think, is their new 4K restoration of the New York Ripper. Also loaded with tons of special features, and also featuring a very cool lenticular slipcover, and this is also a 3-disc set. So I'm very happy to have these. Blue Underground's just doing an awesome job lately. So that is my Blu-ray/DVD update of August 2019. Please let me know what you think of these titles. Which ones of these are your favorite? Which ones would you like to see that you haven't seen? Just let me know what you think about these films. I always love hearing your guys' opinions. So thank you very much for watching my video, and we will see you next time. And again, stay tuned in the next few days for an unboxing of both of these. Alright, thanks for watching. Catch you later.